There are the wrestlers below the Yokozuna rank who do their own ring entering ceremony in this top division, this Makuuchi division. Division below is Juryo, which we do not see. 26 wrestlers in the Juryo division, 40 in this Makuuchi that we look at. So on to our first bout. Buyuzan fights Chiyotenzan. Well, Chiyotenzan started sumo very well. The first of his, in each of his first 3 bashos, he won a prize. So that was 3 good results when he first came into this top division, which was in 1998, some 4 years ago. But since then, been up and down the ranks a bit. Buyuzan won that one with oshidashi, gave him his 4th win, and it was Chiyotenzan's 7th loss. So he's getting closer and closer to Makikoshi. Now Dejima, a win here will give him Kachikoshi. That's a majority of wins, 8 wins. He's fighting Asanowaka, and if he wins, it will be the first time he, with Kachikoshi, the first time since March 2001. Well, there it is. He takes his 8th win, and it's been quite a considerable relief for him to get that. At Maegashira 9, he was getting a little bit too close to the bottom of the Maegashira rankings, and of course he would be dropped down to Juryo if he continued to get Makikoshi. But no, he's finally turned it around by the look of it. Asanowaka there losing his 5th bout. Now we have Shimotori fights Kaiho. Kaiho 122 kilos, Shimotori 147. Kaiho, the skillful one, has been in pro sumo, or in this Makuuchi division, since 1998. 4 years of experience fighting the biggest and the best. And look at that. He's an amazingly skillful wrestler, Kaiho. He doesn't have the strange techniques of Kyokushuzan, but certainly when he flips them over, he does it very neatly and cleanly. So an underarm throw there from Kaiho to give him his 6th win. Now Kotoryu, coming back from injury, fights Hokutoriki in his first Makuuchi basho. Without Hokutoriki there, jumping the gun a bit. Meant to start at the same time, but there's a lot of gamesmanship at this point. Kotoryu comes out faster and pushing in hard. You can see he's taped up right knee. That's what gave him some trouble before, but it seems to be holding up all right. So Kotoryu wins that one, his 5th win so far. In the early days, Kotoryu wanted to be a policeman, but if you're a big, strong young man in Japan, sumo scouts are always on the lookout for people like that, so he was lured into sumo. Now Otsukasa fights Tochinohana. They've met 5 times previously. Otsukasa's won 4 of them. Well, a slowish start there. They bump chests rather than lead with the hands. But having bumped chests, it's Tochinohana who gets pulled down from the bump and down to the dirt of the dojo. So a win there, 4th win for Otsukasa, and 4th loss for Tochinohana. Well, it's Takamisakari. Well, he's certainly a crowd pleaser. And he's fighting Tamanoshima. These two have never fought before. Takamisakari, they're locking in tight. Seems to have isolated Tamanoshima's left shoulder. That grip under the armpit and round the back is known as kaina. So they drive in under the armpit and hold very high, and that pushes up the arm of the other man, who then can't use it to grab. So Takamisakari there, winning with yorikiri. Well, let's hope his knees hold up, because he is interesting to watch. Now Kotonowaka fighting Jumonji, otherwise known as Mon, in the sumo world. He's 150 kilos. Kotonowaka on the left, 175, so quite a weight difference. So Kotonowaka using his long arms there, tries a pull down, push into a pull down, settled in on the belt. Those long arms enable him to grab the belt quite comfortably, but he's lost it. Now looking for that kime hold, Trying to sort of double arm lock both of the opposing wrestlers' arms. There you see he's clenching his fists underneath and squeezing in, which will lock the arms of Jumonji. Jumonji now has managed to get away from that. He's widened his elbows and he's holding deep round the back. Kotonowaka now going over the high, over-the-top grip, reminiscent of the way Takanonami fights, using his height. Tries an overarm throw. Needs to be able to do the sorogake, the leg hook, using his long legs. But there's it's the smaller wrestler who uses his shorter legs to get round behind Kotonowaka. So it's exactly what Kotonowaka should have been doing, but Jumonji goes for it, plants his foot on the ground and knee, and twists Kotonowaka down and back with kirikaeshi. Wakanoyama against Tamakasuga. They've fought 7 times in the past. Tamakasuga's won 6 of them. Wakanoyama comes out, drops the head, drives forward with the head, keeps Tamakasuga on the run. Tamakasuga recovers from that drive. Neither wrestler managed to get a belt yet, but it's Wakanoyama. Although his head was pushed low, he keeps the forward driving momentum going, and Tamakasuga gets driven over the edge. So oshidashi win there for Wakanoyama. So a good view, the inside of the Kokugikan. Now we have Miyabiyama fights Daizen. Daizen started his sumo the same year as Musashi Maru, which was 1983, and he beat him in that year, but their paths have diverged somewhat since then. Well, Miyabiyama making all the go in there, back to his normal rough self. Some hard pushes and shoves, and that drops Daizen down. So Miyabiyama's 5th win. He's had 4 losses so far as well, and 7th loss for Daizen, who creeps closer and closer to Makikoshi. 15 fights per basho. If one wrestler gets 8 wins, he's got more wins than losses, so anything above 8 is good. 7 and below is bad. That's known as Makikoshi. Now Kyokushuzan against Tosanoumi. They fought 13 times previously. Tosanoumi's won 8 of them. Can Kyokushuzan keep up his winning streak? I suspect he won't do so well now. I've noticed in the past that when they have to restart, he seems to get a bit confused, and I suspect he'll get even more confused now. And that's Chiyonofuji there, or the one-time great Chiyonofuji. The umpire, judge, objecting to the start. Well, Kyokushuzan there on the run, desperately trying to pull Tosanoumi down as he charges forward, but if Kyokushuzan had a game plan, he lost it there. Just comes out and puts his hands to the shoulders of Tosanoumi, and Tosanoumi just keeps driving forward. Well, you can see them circling inside that ring. It's 4.55 meters across, 15 feet or so. It doesn't take many steps if you're walking in a straight line to get to the edge and over it, so they circle inside there as best they can. Kyokushuzan was trying to pull Tosanoumi down and forward as he was driving into him. Takanonami, 169 kilos. Toki, 174. Toki a little bit heavier. Takanonami, weak ankles, injured ankles. You can see he's wearing those sock-like thing on his right leg. Well, Takanonami's experienced wrestler though. He was a long time as an ozeki. Just off the top of my head, I think he was 29 bashos as ozeki. So he's got a lot of experience, but they're losing to Toki, who in the time he's been in pro sumo, or in makuuchi sumo, since 1998, has never managed to get a kimboshi, which means a victory over a yokozuna, which is not always so difficult as it sounds, since yokozuna go through bad patches. Now we have Tochinohana against Ami Nishiki, who's beaten 2 ozeki so far in this tournament, although he's only had 3 wins. 2 of them were good wins. Tochinohana powering through there. He gets that overarm grip and then he flips Aminishiki down. So 6th loss for Aminishiki. Aminishiki's previous tournament, he had 10 wins and 5 losses. One before that, he had 9 wins and 6 losses. So this is not going to be a good tournament for him. Now Chiyotenzan against Kyokutenho. Kyokutenho with 3 wins. Chiyotenzan with 8 straight wins. Chiyotenzan in the stable he belongs to, the Kokonoka-me. They do 500 leg stamps every day as part of the training. 500 slaps and pushes to the heavy wooden pole in the ground, teppo, otherwise known as. Tough training regime in that particular stable. When he comes out, he goes for his normal pushes against Kyokutenho. Then he decides he'll go for the belt. So slightly unusual pattern there for Chiyotenzan, winning with yorikiri over Kyokutenho. 6th loss for Kyokutenho and 9th straight win for Chiyotenzan. Chiyotenzan did karate in his earlier days. Said he likes to retain the feel of karate. He likes the thought of smashing them down with one blow. Well, of course, you're not allowed to punch or kick in sumo. You can hit with an open hand, of course. But his sumo is very much a charge and a smash. So it's a bit karate-like in that respect. Now, Asa Shoryu fights Musoyama. These two have fought 6 times. Each has won 3 times. So Shoryu somewhat injured. Musoyama with 6 wins. Asa Shoryu with 5 wins. So it's anybody's guess who's going to take this one. Musoyama comes out hard and fast. Asa Shoryu gets 2 hands on the belt. And, well, that looked to me like Musoyama's victory there. The referee's called it for Musoyama. But a shimpan has objected, so they come into the ring. Well, let's see if the referee, the Gyoji, was right or wrong. Who stepped out first? Well, very difficult to say. But the chief judge here, Shionofuji, the Wolf, one time, does have a video link. They do watch it on video. And now they've reversed the referee's decision. They said it was a sashi jigai. He got it wrong. And so the victory goes to Asa Shoryu. Well, that was a very difficult one to call, that one. Now Takanowaka against Tochiazuma. These two have fought 4 times previously. Tochiazuma has won 3 of them. Takanowaka with only 2 wins so far, not doing that well in this basho. Both wrestlers banging with the head. Tochiazuma settling in tight. And it's Takanowaka who gets that one. He didn't let Tochiazuma settle down. So you see the head banging start there. And Takanowaka using those long arms of his, and they settle in close to body. But it's Tochiazuma gets nudged over the edge there. Well, he's not looking too happy these days. That's his 3rd loss. Well, they do get a lot of pressure on them. The media are always ready to talk up the wrestlers. About the time Tochiazuma won his basho in January this year, he was the next Yokozuna as far as all the writers were concerned, but it wasn't to be. Now Kaiho fights Wakano Sato. They fought 11 times previously. Kaiho's won 6 of them. So is Kaiho going to be strong this time, or is he going to be the weak Kaiho? Tries the overarm throw there, but Wakano Sato weathers that one. And before Kaiho can recover from that attempt, he's forced over the edge with yorikiri. Watch that one again. See the 2 wrestlers watching each other very closely in that low crouch before they come out. So there's the attempt at the overarm throw, the Owatenagi, but he was moving backwards towards the edge, so it was a dangerous move to make. Throws can be quite difficult in sumo. Judo men, whoever tries sumo, quite often get beaten because they turn the back on the opponent and they just get shoved out while they do so. So now onto the last bout of the day. It's Akinoshima, short and squat, between Masashi Maru, huge and squat, if I may say so. They fought each other 42 times before. Masashi Maru has won 31 of them. Akinoshima has got a lot of kimboshi, that's to say gold stars. He's beaten quite a few yokozuna in his time, but he's not quite the man he was. Now Musashi Maru looking very powerful. Feet look as though they've got roots going into the earth of the dojo. He's also got a difficult tachi-ai. So slowish start there, but you can see the size of the man. I mean, Akinoshima, who's no slouch at the tachi-ai, barely denting that massive body of his. Arm over the top. Briefly looks as though he's thinking about kubinagi. But Musashi Maru just staying very close to him, not allowing him any room, and just uses that big stomach and a bit of arm work to force him down and out with oshitaoshi. Well, there's the bit at the end. Akinoshima gets dumped down just outside the circle. Well, that's 9 straight wins for Musashi Maru. Well, at the end of day 9, we've got 2 wrestlers now in the lead, Musashi Maru and Chiyotenzan with 9 straight wins, Dejima and Kyokushuzan with 8 wins. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with the remaining days of the Basho. This is me, Syd Hoare, in Tokyo. Bye for now, and sayonara.